I have nothing left. My mind is screaming, go! But my body just done. There's nothing in the tank. It's over. It's a phrase you hear all the time in endurance sports. Some studies show that more than 40% of marathon runners will experience it, and for many, it's their single biggest fear. It has a name, hitting the wall. But what does that actually mean? This isn't just a saying, it's a full on physical and psychological collapse. It's a state of sudden brutal fatigue where it feels physically impossible to go on. This is my attempt to document that breakdown, to stare down one of the most feared experiences in running, and to truly understand what happens when you push your body beyond its What exactly is the wall? It isn't just about being tired. It's not even close. It is a specific psychological crisis that erupts inside your body when your primary fuel source runs dry. Think of your body as a high performance hybrid car. The carbohydrates you eat are your electric, high octane fuel. They're converted into glucose and then stored in your muscles and liver as glycogen. When you're on a long, hard run, glycogen is your fuel you're burning. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's your body's preferred energy for intense exercise. The problem is, you only have a limited supply, enough for maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours of hard running. When that glycogen tank runs empty, your body is forced into a desperate switch. It has to start relying on its backup generator, fat. While that might sound good, fat is far less efficient fuel for high intensity effort. It takes longer to break down into usable energy, which means your body simply can't produce power as quickly. That is the moment you hit the wall. Its state of severe glycogen depletion, also known as bonking. Your pace suddenly falls off a cliff. Your legs feel like they're filled with cement, and your brain, which runs almost entirely on glucose, becomes foggy and confused. You're officially hit the wall, a state of total depletion where every single step feels like a monumental effort. For me, it started with whispers. The first sign was a subtle shift in perception. The effortless rhythm I had at the beginning of my run vanished, replaced by a conscious, grinding effort just to maintain my pace. My legs, once light, started a low-level, pervasive ache that I could no longer ignore. This is where the mental negotiation begins. Your brain, anticipating the energy crisis, starts sending subtle signals to slow down, to conserve whatever fuel is left. Then the collapse comes, and it comes on fast. It began with a strange, creeping detachment from my own body. My vision started to blur at the edges, and the world seemed less real. Positive internal cheerleader that had been pushing me forward was gone, replaced by a relentless negative loop of self talk. Why are you doing this? This is pointless. Just stop. You can walk. No one will blame you. It feels like your own mind is turning against you, actively sabotaging the effort. Then the physical failure hits, and it hits hard. It's like a power switch is flipped off inside your body. My legs were just heavy a moment ago, now felt useless like a combination of lead and jelly. Lifting them was an agonizing, monumental task. A white-hot, acidic burning flooded my quadriceps, not a normal workout burn, but a deep cellular exhaustion. I was still running, but it was pathetic. Uncoordinated shuffle. A wave of nausea washed over me, and despite the cool air, I felt strangely cold and calm, and the world shrinks into a tiny, suffocating tunnel. All that exists is the fire in your legs, the desperate gasping for air, and the overwhelming, all-consuming urge to stop. But the scariest part is how your brain starved of. glucose begins to shut down. This is known as exercise-induced. It's almost entirely preventable. Beating the wall isn't about being tougher. It's about being smarter. It's all about the strategy. First, prevention is your best defense. This starts weeks before your race with proper training. Consistent long runs train your body to become more efficient at burning fat and storing more glycogen. Next, the critical carb loading phase. In the 36 to 48 hours before a big race, you should significantly increase your carbohydrate intake, aiming about 10 to 12 grams of carbs per kilogram of your body weight each day. This is to ensure your glycogen tanks are completely full. Think white pasta, rice, and bagels, and reduce the fiber and fat to help with digestion. But the most critical factor is fueling during your run. Remember that limited glycogen supply. You have to start refueling long before you feel tired. For runs over 90 minutes, a common strategy is to consume 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrate per hour. This usually comes from easy to digest sources like energy gels, chews, or sports drinks. You have to practice these during training to see what your stomach can handle. So, what do you do if you feel the wall coming on anyway? If you sense that crushing fatigue, the heavy legs, and the mental fog, you must act immediately. Pushing through will only make the crash worse. The first, most important thing is to do is to slow down or even walk. The second is to get fast acting carbohydrates into your system as quickly as possible. This is this is what those emergency gels are for. It will take time for the sugar to hit your system, but this can help pull your body back from the brink and allow you to finish, even at a much slower. Taught me it was a total system failure, a physical and mental breakdown that is genuinely hard to describe. Physically, it was a complete energy depletion, like someone yanked your power cord right out of the wall. My muscles simply could not produce the energy needed, but the mental side was arguably worse. It was a fog of hopelessness, confusion, and despair where your own mind turns against you. The experience was more than just running. It was about limits, failure, and what it truly means to be completely, utterly empty. It gave me a profound visceral respect for my body and fuel it needs to perform. For the tens of thousands of runners who experience this every year, hitting the wall is an unintentional and devastating part of their race. But it doesn't have to be. Facing my biggest running fear wasn't fun. It was brutal. It was a lesson in humility I won't soon forget. But it was also incredibly insightful. I understand now the wall isn't a myth runners use to sound tough. It's a psychological reality rooted in glycogen depletion. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. If you ever hit the wall, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below. And if you want to see more content exploring the limits of running, make sure to subscribe. Until the next time, run smart and fuel well.